We've learned over the past couple of years that homesteading is incredibly rewarding, but it also reminds me of all the hard work that we put into this little paradise of ours. And today I'm going to share with you the first 5 things that we did on this property. That's right, we're going to talk today about the 5 things that we first did when we got this property that we're trying to turn into our forever homestead. I'm certainly not suggesting that these are the 5 things everybody should do when they first get their homestead. Because what the heck do we know? We just moved from the city to the country, and, you know, the rest is history. We're learning a lot as we go, though. We actually just had another huge dumping of snow. As you can see, it's a regular winter wonderland here in Canada. You know how it goes in a cold climate like this. So I got to get the old tractor out and try to get some of this snow cleared. Now, as many of you may already know, some of you may not know, we bought this 90 acres as an investment property. We do want to end up building our own home on the property somewhere in the future, but we live 20 minutes away at our own house. Part of the reason for that is because we love this property so much, but we don't really love the house too much. It's very old and small. And honestly, I don't want to really live in a century farmhouse with no insulation and baseboard heating. And that's just keeping it real with you guys. Those are our thoughts. Now, that being said, one of the first things we started doing on this property is give that century farmhouse a little bit of a facelift. There wasn't really anything major that we wanted to do because the house has a good structure. But really, we wanted to make it our own style. It's kind of a rustic farmhouse, vintage-looking style. And that way, we would be able to attract people to want to stay here. And that was quite important to us because the last thing you want to do is pay good money for a property like this and not being able to find any renters, you know, because you want to be able to make a little bit of income to pay for the bills. We did things such as put barn board up on the walls, we painted everywhere, added some of our own personal touches, you know, some new light fixtures, things of that nature, and we had to fully furnish the place so that it's completely livable for our guests. There was already a little bit of a country-style flower garden in the front of the house, but we ended up expanding on that to make it absolutely gorgeous in the summer months. Some of you might think that my John Deere compact tractor was one of the first things that we did on the farm, but no, we got the farm in July, so I didn't really need a tractor to clear the snow until that first winter. So we didn't get our tractor until approximately October. Now, all while that was happening in the farmhouse, we had our first farm puppy on order. That's right. Molly, the old English sheepdog, is purebred, and she was born in May, and we got her in July. And that's when we picked up 8-week-old cute little Molly. Honestly, my wife and I have been dreaming for how many years now about having a nice, good-sized dog, you know, not one of those little yappy chihuahuas or anything, but a nice big dog. We never wanted to do that with the lifestyle that we had. You know, we were just living in a suburban type home, and we would work long hours, and the dog would be left alone in the house for long hours, and we didn't really want to do that. So once we got the farm, it was on the top of our list to get a farm dog. Old English sheepdogs are suited for our cold climate, and they could very well live outside with the flock, you know, because they're double coated of hair and they're very cold tolerant. Molly is amazing around the small animals. She's amazing with her baby sister Olive. She's amazing with people. She's such an incredible girl, I tell you. Also, we wanted a dog that didn't shed, didn't drool, and the Old English sheepdog fit that bill perfectly. And in addition to that, she's just a very cute looking dog. From puppyhood all the way to adulthood, the Old English sheepdog is very friendly looking, very cute, and very fluffy. We love her. Really, guys, Molly's become such a huge part of our YouTube channel also. Now, the first animal to the farm was ducks. And we were really looking for an animal that would be really cute, really fun, and allow us to start developing our animal complement for the farm stay. We decided on khaki Campbell ducks, A, because they were easily available to us in our area, and 2, they're very cute, very cold hardy, very healthy birds, and the khaki Campbells are one of the most prolific egg-laying duck. And we knew that laying eggs means that we would be able to sell eggs, we would be able to sell hatching eggs, and we would be able to sell some adult birds and ducklings as well. And that'll just alleviate the cost of the feed and whatnot. But of course, we needed a place for them to live. Now this was summer when we got them. It wasn't really a problem because we have this old barn and we have a little fenced in area here. But I needed to get started building the Ducky Bunkie. I had this vision of building an A-frame bunkie style duck house. And I'm 6'3" tall, and I don't really want to bang my head when I go inside any of these structures. So I built it pretty nice and tall so that I could go right in and clean up and not have any issues. Now this Ducky Bunkie has a 30-foot run attached to it so that the ducks can go in and out of the house and not have any mess inside the house, because outside is where the food and the water was, and ducks really need an area to get nasty. In addition to that, I was anticipating of free-ranging the ducks in an orchard, which was one of the next things that we did on the farm. As everybody can imagine, trees take many, many years to grow. So it was very important to us that we planted the orchard as soon as possible. And within a few weeks of taking over this property, we had planted a whole slew of trees. In the area that we decided to make our mini orchard, there was already 5 of these really old apple trees. So we just continued the same pattern, 25 feet apart, and now we have a whole bunch of different apples, pears, plums, cherries. We have some walnuts, we have some chestnuts. We also planted this orchard in a little permaculture style, meaning we have a whole bunch of honey locust trees mixed in. And the honey locust trees actually act as nitrogen fixers, meaning they're adding nitrogen to the ground, whereas most of the other trees are pulling nitrogen from the ground. And I think that would really help in developing and regenerating the ecosystem of our 90 acres. I did manage in those early days to get my hands locally on some tiny black leghorn chicks and some very tiny light Sussex chicks and some Rhode Island red chicks. And those were going to be the 3 breeds of chicken that we were going to grow our homestead with. Black leghorns are supposed to be an excellent white egg layer, and both the light Sussex and Rhode Islands are traditional heritage dual purpose birds, basically for a lot of good egg laying and for good meat. Now, our property here is zoned as agricultural rural, so it's not a problem to have roosters. You know, there's a lot of municipalities and, you know, suburban type developments that don't allow roosters because of the noise problem. But I wanted roosters because I wanted the ability to replenish our flock as needed, right? So now that we'll have fertile eggs, we'll be able to hatch our own chicks. Plus, I'll be able to sell chicks, and I'll be able to sell hatching eggs, and also sell fresh eggs, and also sell live adult birds. And all of that really is to contribute to funding the feed. You know, all the feed for these animals are very expensive. So if you can at least sell some eggs, sell some birds, sell some chicks, it helps alleviate the cost of the feed. And hopefully, eventually, your place can be somewhat self-sufficient. Now, so far, we've been successful in hatching all 3 breeds, but by far, the Rhode Island Red is the most prolific egg layer. But the light Sussex chickens have a nice white skin, and they make incredible meat chickens. We basically did all our meat birds last year from the light Sussex, and they were just incredible. So organic, so fresh. I'm so happy that my darling and I are doing this.
Just want to thank all you guys for watching, and I really appreciate you joining us while we develop our channel here and develop our farm. It's been really fun, and I'm happy to know all you guys and comment back and forth. And I'm very happy to be able to share our experiences with this place. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. Really thank you so much. And if you want to watch a nice recap episode of all the things that we've done on our farm so far, I'll put a link for it down below here. And it's gonna help you if you're new to the channel, really. Take care. We'll see you on the next episode.